Hello again, big weekend of football coming up, and of course the managerial merry-go-round is in full swing. Charlie Nicholas is with me. Let's start with your old club then, Charlie. It's been confirmed Mikel Arteta is the new boss. Well, you look happy about it.
Well, I'm happy, Jeff, because we just needed someone in, to be honest with you. Brendan Rodgers, as you know, was my first choice. It looked as if we couldn't get him, and I remember you saying to me 2 weeks ago, why would he come? Well, we know why he wouldn't come, because he's in a good project at Leicester. But this is a long-term thing for me. Arteta is a young, intelligent, bright coach. Lack of experience, risky, yes, of course it is. But Arsenal have no leadership at the top level. Now, hopefully, he can come in and start the project rolling. And surely he must identify, he won't have much money in January, but he's a decision-maker, in my opinion. He was a star at Everton. The people loved him. He understands Merseyside, the commitment. And he was a star and a good teammate of Arsenal, and he understands the commitment of the club. So hopefully he can become the leader that Arsenal need to start rebuilding.
Who's taking the bigger gamble here, Arteta or Arsenal?
Arsenal are taking the biggest gamble, and the reason is because if you're Arteta and you sit with Pep for the next few years, you're in a luxury job, absolute luxury job. But will he ever wait for a really big club? I know at the moment Arsenal's team is average, but it's still a giant club, and the opportunity to get a giant club, he knocked it back I think 18 months ago, or if he didn't knock it back, it was through, he was asked for three different things he wanted and he didn't get the demands, so it dropped it. So I think maybe the time is right for him now to say, it's time for me to stand up and take this opportunity. Sure, it's risky for him, but I think it's risky for Arsenal, because I was a little bit worried that they might go down the Man United route, just throw money at somebody just for the sake of it. Arsenal have to get their house in order. They can't just go year on year on year. They have to start to threaten the top four, and that'll be at least next year before they can think about it.
Are you confident that some of the bigger names at the club will respect him enough as a first-time manager? I am fairly confident in that. I'm not 100%, because I've seen what these players have done to previous managers, as in only the last two. But I think what the impression I get of Arteta, if Arteta comes in now and he says to the board or the committee, which it tends to be, I would like Ozil to go, I would like 2 or 3 of the defenders to go, then they have to actively organise that and shape it to say, right, it's time to move on. Easier said than done, I know, because of the wages that some of them are on. But if it's time, it's time. You have to start shipping them out. I think one side effect that nobody seems to have mentioned is what impact might this have on Pep Guardiola at Manchester City when you lose your right-hand man? Well,
you were touching on it just the other week with us in Soccer Saturday, that would it be the right time for him to step down? There's these things thrown in the air. Should Arteta wait? And it's like everything like that. You know, you look at what happened to Southampton manager, Hasenhüttl, loses his number 2, and all of a sudden it went in a little bit of a meltdown. He's recovered a bit, but it's been painful for him. And a lot of people are like that. If you lose your so-called kind of right-arm guy, then they go, well, who am I speaking to now? I think he's got plenty of other coaches that he can bring in. I actually don't think Pep will probably go and get anybody yet. He might wait until the summer to replace Mikel Arteta, because I think he's got plenty there. So it will affect him, and it will take him time, and it might actually affect some of the players.
OK. Carlo Ancelotti, we're waiting for him to sign on the dotted line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ironic, isn't it, that it's Everton against Arsenal this week. And how do you think the fans are going to view this? Ancelotti, a man with a huge list of big-name clubs, being paid £8 million a year, being preferred to a man who would have paid to have taken the job in Duncan Ferguson.
Well, I think they like the ingredients of it, because Duncan's done a wonderful job. Absolutely no doubt about that. The passion, the commitment. And I think that's where we're trying to identify, what Everton fans, what do you really want? You know, you've had Martinez, who's a passing machine, and then you go to Koeman, who you liked at the start but didn't like the back end of, Silver, who couldn't get his tactics quite right. So they've never truly identified what they want. But I think what they've done with Duncan is, as I said, give us honesty, give us commitment, and give us a bit of passion. Let the little ball boy jump me as often as he likes, and we'll celebrate a goal together. That's the heartbeat of Everton. It used to be one of the hardest places to go to.
But Carlo Ancelotti's not going to be picking ball boys up.
Of course he's not. He might have to control Big Dunk a little bit more, because he's going to have to sit beside him. But no, I remember saying to you previously that I wouldn't take Ancelotti at Arsenal, because I think he comes across as a top guy. But sometimes you don't need that top guy. You need that passion, that commitment. I mean, look what Duncan Ferguson done to Keane at Old Trafford the other week. A decision made, didn't like it, I didn't think it was correct myself, but he made the decision. And Ancelotti will need to understand the Merseyside passion. Liverpool are rolling along and he's got to play catch up with them. So he's got to identify the true passion of it. I think he'll get there, but it'll be next season again.
How do you think one thing he's not used to is handling a struggling side?
Yeah.
How do you think he'll cope with that?
I think that'll be awkward for him because I think he'll be looking at... He's always been a man, even when he played. And when he played, I used to admire him because they always loved him. As a teammate, they always focused on unsung hero, efficient on the ball, lovely guy. All that Chelsea boys did the same. And I said to you a couple of weeks ago, Chelsea had really good professionals in their dressing room. I'm not saying Everton don't have good professionals, but they're going to have to sit and listen. But if it's all about coaching, that's not what's getting you over the line. I think they were overcoached last time. I don't think they need all that again. And I think you could see the honesty with Big Duncan. He basically said, in the face, passionate commitment, and then we can work in the better players to come forward. So he's got to work on that. So I do generally think it's a starry name, but I think it will take him time.
Do you feel that the Everton hierarchy felt they have to have a starry name because Liverpool have got Jurgen Klopp?
I think that was the whole thing behind it. You suggested just the other weekend, why don't they give Duncan the job? And I said, maybe until the end of the season. It kind of makes sense. Take your time. Things are going in the right direction. Yeah, I know they're only 3 points above the drop zone, but you could feel there was something happening. There was a desire there. There was an effort there, commitment to the current coach at that time. I don't know if that can get lost. That can get lost somewhere if you're too nice and you expect it to happen and it doesn't happen. You've got to force it a little bit. Look what happened to Koeman in the end. I thought Koeman was as good a coach you could ever get, and yet in the end he started to lose the dressing room.
I mean, mentioning of Liverpool, that they've dipped their toe into the transfer market, or they will do when it opens, of course, in January, with a modest little buy. Do you see Liverpool spending during January? Do you see any of the big clubs spending during January?
I do not. No, I don't. I'm slightly unsure about Manchester City. I think if the right defender came up, I think they would have to go and nail it, because I think they missed the trick in the summer. And with Laporte still being injured, I think they kind of need that. They need a presence of some kind. Whether you can get that to fit into the Champions League or whether they just get it for a domestic setup, then so be it. So I think they'll be tempted to get into that market and maybe unload one or two. There's still talk that when Sané's fit, and I think he's back training, that he might want to go to Germany, to Bayern Munich. So there could be money available for that. Liverpool, I think, more or less business is done. Chelsea, you're not sure of. Man United might go into the market because it sounds as if Pogba probably wants out. So can you do a swap for him? And I honestly don't know what Arsenal can afford. I mean, Arsenal have to get into the market. But for the top force presence, and I think Spurs signing, the re-signing of Alderweireld was a big positive for them.
Arsenal, maybe another £72 million winger, perhaps? No?
No,
okay.
maybe not.
Christmas as a footballer then, Charlie, did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did actually, Jeff. I didn't mind.
Did you behave?
Of course I did, until we played the match, and then I kind of misbehaved a little bit. Well, it was always kind of Boxing Day, but when I came to England and played for Arsenal in '83, I didn't realise how much was put onto the New Year card. It wasn't so much a Christmas. It was a New Year, how it kind of runs into the fixture list there, and the travelling. Because, like, at least in Glasgow, when I played at Celtic, it wasn't overburdened with travel. But in England, it was always hotel the night before. There is a couple of times on New Year's Eve that I did sneak out on a few occasions with a few teammates.
Did you ever get caught?
Never get caught. I wasn't fast enough either. I don't know how I never get caught.
We'll be keeping a very careful watch on you during the festive period, just to make sure you're in good nick for Soccer Saturday. Charlie, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, mate.